Okay, Molly.
Yeah, that's my dog. Molly, go in the other room. Go.
All right, we are on YouTube Live, just so you guys are all aware. I have someone on the meeting that lists as iPhone.
This is Brad.
Perfect. You're having difficulty.
Yeah, my computer's not cooperating, so I just called in.
Hey, whatever works, that works. I'm just waiting. Brad, you're with Archer, correct?
No, Sesco.
Cisco. Okay. I'm gonna actually put that on your ID, just so we know.
Thank you.
So as of this time, we do not have our applicant from Archer Signs here. And they were all made aware. So, Mr. Bloom, if it is 6 p.m., if we'd like to stop or start, and we'll see if they join us.
Okay. Like a call this Thursday, January 19th, 2023 Board of Zoning Appeals meeting to order. Dawn, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Earl Bloom,
Here.
Craig Farkas,
Here.
Wally Parker,
Here.
Nick Maroulis. I think he's frozen. I see his face. I'll come back to Nick. Karam?
Here.
All right, perfect. I think he's gonna have to come back in. Go ahead.
You want to wait for him to come back in?
I'll just note it in the minutes that he had an issue, so let's go ahead and move forward. He was here, we seen him.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of October 20th, 2022. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is
Thank
there a
you.
second?
Are we all frozen?
I'll second it.
Was that you, Earl?
Yes, that was me.
All right, perfect. To approve the minutes of October 20th, Earl,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
Wally,
Yes.
and Karam.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Now you said the representative for Archer is not on the link yet,
No, sir.
so we'll move on with the request from Sesco.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, the first item, request from Sesco Imaging Company for a variance to the requirements that a freestanding signs are only permitted when the building is back from row a minimum of 25 feet for two monument signs for Well Now Urgent Care and Aspen Dental at 4630 Ridge Road, permanent parcel number 43223014. Reference zoning 1129.03 E-1. Are there any comments from the city? Jeremy?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if it's okay with you and my comments, I'll kind of touch on all three of the variances that they're asking.
That's fine.
Okay. Just for some background for the board, the applicant's requesting approval for three variances to install two new 40 square foot monument signs for the new medical building or soon to be under construction at 4630 Ridge Road. One 40-foot square monument sign on Ridge and one 40 square foot monument sign on Bidoff, which totals 80 square feet of signage. These signs were approved at the January Planning Commission meeting conditioned on BZA approval. Code section 112903E has standards for freestanding signs in commercial and industrial districts. The proposed signs meet the area and height requirements, but will require variances for other standards. So the variances needed include one, the freestanding signs only permitted when the building is back from the right of way a minimum of 25 feet. The building is currently at 5 feet, but this is due to the city's request and is the setback for commercial buildings in the new recently adopted zoning code. The second variance, the monument sign on Ridge Road does not meet the minimum requirement of 70 feet from a residentially zoned property, requiring a 35-foot variance. So that's the distance to the residential property to the north on Ridge. Number 3, an additional freestanding sign with only one permitted. The code allows for 2 freestanding signs on corner lots, which this property is, but the property must have 300 feet of frontage on both streets, and it appears the applicant's parcel does not meet this requirement. That said, I would like to note to the board that these variances are only required due to the request of the city and the planning commission in an effort to align this project with the standards in the newly adopted planning and zoning code. The initial sign design was one monument sign on the corner that wouldn't have needed any variances. They would have met the existing 25-foot setback in our current code, but we being the city asked them to move the building up to align to our new setback of 5 feet. And then planning commission asked the applicant to split the one large sign into 2 smaller at each of the entrance points on Bidoff and Ridge. So I'd like you to consider that when you're discussing these variances, because they were really driven by the city and planning commission versus the desire of the applicant. And that concludes my comments.
Thank you, Jeremy. Any comments from the Cisco representative?
Yeah, just real quick to reiterate, kind of what was just mentioned. The original sign proposal that we submitted did conform with the code, and per the request of the planning commission and the developer's agreement to work with planning commission to make these changes. The changes resulted in these requested variances. They were more than happy to work with the city to make the changes to the signs, and we're asking for approval for the signs as the planning commission requested.
Thank you. I assume there's no public comments, if there's no public on the link here.
I have not received any comments from the public
Okay.
on any of the items.
Any questions or comments from the board?
I have a question on the monument sign that's gonna be on Ridge Road. We're giving a variance from the property. How far is the house that's next to that property gonna be from the sign? Cause on the diagram, they show a garage, but they don't show where the house is.
Jeremy, do you want to answer that, or do you?
I don't know the exact distance, Mr. Parker, but it's far enough that it's not shown on the plans because it sits so far back off of Ridge. This is a straight line from the property line to the sign versus the house. So the house is a much greater distance. I don't know it off the top of my head though.
Okay.
Any
The
further
sign-
comments?
The signs are gonna be illuminated, correct?
Correct.
They're gonna be on 24 hours a day?
No, they would be on a timer to shut off in the evening.
Okay.
These signs, it just shows their businesses. There's no advertisement that's gonna be going on here or anything like that.
No, it will just advertise the 2 tenants.
Okay.
Any further comments from the board? May I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
I'll take you, Nick. Thank you.
All right.
To approve, Earl,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
Wally,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Karam.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, the next
Bradford,
item,
we have to separate these, so you're gonna have 2 more votes, just so you're aware. We have to separate
okay.
each variance request, so just bear with us while we go through the last 2. We discussed them all in one, but we have to vote on them separately.
Gotcha.
the next one is a request from Sesco Imaging Company for a 35-foot variance to the minimum requirement of 70 feet from a residentially zoned property for a monument sign for Well Now Urgent Care and Aspen Dental at 4630 Ridge Road, permanent parcel number 43223014, reference zone in code 1129.03E3. We've already had comments from the city. Any further comments from the applicant?
No, sir.
Any on the board?
Nope.
May I have a motion to approve?
So be it. Make a motion to approve.
I second it.
Thank
Bonnie,
you.
Will you call the roll?
Sure. To approve, Earl,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes,
Wally,
Yes,
Nick,
yes,
Karam.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, the last item on the agenda tonight is a request from Sesco Imaging Company for an additional freestanding sign variance to the maximum of one for Well Now Urgent Care and Aspen Dental at 4630 Ridge Road, permanent parcel number 432233014, reference code 1129.03E4. Again, we've already had comments from the city. Anything more you'd like to add, Jeremy?
No, not at this time, Mr. Chair.
Okay, any comments from the applicant?
No, thank you.
Any comments from the board? Well, this is an easy one. May I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Nick.
You call the roll?
Sure. Earl,
Yes.
Craig,
yes,
Wally,
Yes,
Nick,
Yes,
Karam.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, Brad, you're all set.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Earl, we are going to have to make a decision on the first two requests. If we'd like to defer, have the applicant come, or if you guys want to move forward without the applicant being here. This was approved by Planning Commission, contingent upon your guys' approval.
I think it's pretty straightforward what they're asking for. And I think I'd just like to move ahead and address this, if this is okay with the rest of the board.
I'm good with it.
I'm good with it too.
Okay, let me get, find my paperwork here again. There was two of them, yeah. Here we go. A request from Archer Sign Corporation for a variance of an additional 58 square feet to the allowable 232 square feet for signage for TGI Fridays at 10320 Cascade Crossing, permanent parcel number 433-10007, reference zoning 1129.03C-1. Any comments from the city? Jeremy?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I'd like to walk through some background and then some more detail about the variance request. For background, the applicant received approval to install a new sign package for an existing Fridays restaurant at 10320 Cascade Crossing at the January 2023 Planning Commission meeting, conditioned upon BZA's consideration of two variances, one relating to the number of signs and one relating to additional square footage beyond the allowable amount. So some details of the variance request. The principal frontage for this building, so the frontage facing Cascade Crossing, is roughly 71 linear feet. Code section 1129.03F1 provides allowances for additional frontage for a building that has an entrance on a parking lot that doesn't also face a main street. The increase for this frontage is 40% of the allowable sign area if the additional frontage were considered the principal frontage. So in this case, the building does have that frontage where they have an entrance that faces the parking lot as well. The additional elevation facing the parking lot is approximately 112 linear feet with an allowable amount of 40% of that, or 45 linear feet. So the combination of the principal frontage facing Cascade Crossing of 71 linear feet and the 45 linear feet on the secondary frontage totals 116 linear feet and with an allowable total sign area of 232 square feet. So the signs that are being replaced, I'll kind of walk through and summarize them quickly. So the F logo above the doors they're 16 square feet each, and there's 2 of them. So they total 32 square feet. The TGI Friday sign above the door, there's 2 of them totaling 49.5 square feet. In here, it's always Friday. The front elevation sign is 19.31 square feet, and the side elevation is 21.67 square feet. The TGI Fridays wall sign, each of them is 83.67, so that totals 167.34 square feet. There's also the 1965 sign. It's 7.3 square feet, but it's not visible from the exterior, so it doesn't count in the inclusion of the sign total. So when you add up all of these signs, the total sign package is approximately 290 square feet of signs. So the permitted amount of signage for the property is 232 square feet, but the request is for 290. Therefore, the applicant's requesting a variance for the additional 58 square feet of the allowable 232 square feet. The building is also allowed 1 sign per code, but they're proposing 8 signs. So the applicant is requesting a variance of 7 extra signs to the 1 allowable. That concludes my comments, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Mhm.
The applicant is not here, so any comments from the board?
From what I saw on the paperwork I looked up, basically they're replacing just most of the signage that they already have there. And it looked like adding 1 additional sign on the other side of the building. Is that correct?
Yeah, at the planning commission, they were there and they explained that they're just doing a restaurant rebrand across Fridays. So they're replacing the clock with the F logo, and they're replacing the awnings with It's Always Friday in here. So they're just rebranding, and this sign package is part of that rebranding effort. And you're right, it's largely replacing what's there with the addition of 1 on the one side of the building. So they didn't have a variance on record, and that's why they're here tonight. Or if they would have, then this could have been just handled at planning commission.
Any other comments from the board? I have a motion to approve.
I second.
You want to first, Craig?
Oh, yeah. And motion to approve.
I second.
I was going to say, I didn't hear the first.
Yeah,
Thanks, Graham.
that's right.
Okay.
So to approve, Earl,
Yes,
Craig,
Yes.
Wally,
Yes.
Nick,
yes,
Karam.
Yes.
Thank you.
okay, the last item then is a request from Archer Sign Corporation for a variance of 7 extra signs to the allowable of 1 on the building face for signage for TGI Fridays at 10320 Cascade Crossing, permanent parcel number 43310007, reference zone code 1129.03C2. Any further comments, Jeremy?
No, I covered that one in my first
Right.
comments.
You did a good job. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank
Any
you.
comments from the board?
No.
May I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I second.
I'm marking y'all, okay?
there you go.
To approve, Earl,
Yes,
Craig,
Yes.
Wally,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes,
Karam.
Yes.
Thank you.
is there any other business that may come before the Board of Zoning Appeals?
I just, if I could, Mr. Chair, make one comment.
Yes,
I just wanted to make the board aware that at its last council meeting, City Council did adopt the new zoning code and the new zoning map. So that parts of that have to go on the ballot for referendum in May. It's mostly due to the creation of two new districts, one for public facilities and one for parks and open space. And then also the map changes, so reclassifying a parcel from one zoning district to another. But the bulk of the document, as it's written now, will become active after the referendum in May. So we're hopeful that the amount of variances will slow down and diminish with the new code being in place. So I just wanted to make the board aware of that.
Less work for us then, huh?
Less work for you. Yep.
Ron, could you then get all of us a copy of the new zoning code when it's appropriate to be published and be put in our hands?
I definitely will, sir.
Okay, any other business before the board? May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'll second it.
Was that you, Wally?
Yeah, I'll second it. That's fine.
I can't. It's either all or none. Earl to adjourn.
Yes,
Craig,
Yes.
Wally,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Karam.
Yes.
Thank you. It was nice seeing you all. Have a great
Nice.
evening.
nice seeing all you strangers.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Take
Have a
care,
good
guys.
evening.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Take care.
Hey, Jeremy, when you get a chance, stop by.
Okay. Yeah, I will.
Okay, thank you.